everybody. Welcome to Show Some Hus. My name is Donny, and I'm here with my good buddy Leo. Leo, I want to start right out hot. You got to witness last night. You and I are sitting here right now, and the tables have turned. Tell me about last night.
Yes, sir. Yesterday, well, I guess last night, late last night. Oh my goodness, Donnie. Didn't get home till like 12:30. Anyway, worth every second of lost sleep because the what the Nuggets showed last night was a an immense statement because not only, did Nikola have an incredible game, which we'll talk about in a second. But we made the right plays at the right time when we needed them. Um, you know, Finchy called it perfect after the game. Those three charges were that just got us going. But Donnie, you said this, Nikola in that third quarter, um, just insane, man. So it was the whole place was just absolutely electric. But
Yeah, it sounded
it
like it.
Yeah, if anybody was wondering why Nikola won the MVP, they saw it last night.
Mhm.
Um, he is just, um, it seems too easy sometimes. It
Yeah.
really seems like a father playing with a bunch of his children. It's really what it seems like. Um, and it seems like, he's just there to make them better. You know, like
Yeah. I mean, and to go back to those charges, that was huge, and
uh,
AG had two fouls and I believe he took both charges with those two fouls. I mean, and they were definitely charges. Like we
oh
slowed them
yeah,
down. No one on the broadcast was even questioning it. They were charges.
yeah,
And, I think it all goes back to Mike Malone, right? When Justin Holiday got absolutely trucked,
yep.
goes out there, gets that tech. And it's funny. I think that's what Mike Malone was trying to do in that game too, when Jamal got trucked by Towns. And he apparently, I feel like Mike Malone was less severe this time and actually got a tech than he was the first time.
I felt the same way. It didn't seem as aggressive as the last one was, but or when we both thought when he made contact, actual physical contact with the referee,
hmm
we thought that should have been called, but then he gets one of these, and it was one of those where I can see why he got upset. It makes total sense. Wants to fire up the team, and boy, did it work.
hmm Yeah, talk to me. So we had the lead going into half, right? I
Mhm.
think it was maybe four-ish.
Yep. Hmm.
Coming out of half, Minnesota puts together a little run and we call a timeout and then just describe to me what you saw coming out of that timeout. Because once we came out of that timeout, we didn't look back.
It was like a light switch. We were there for business. We, when you look at them, I'm trying to pull up the box here. We only outscored them by 8 in the third,
hmm
but we were down in that quarter for a while. Especially it felt like early.
hmm
And then we call that timeout, and man, we are one of those teams where timeouts are just really good for us. They
hmm
are just they're really, it's not one of those things where we come out weird, we come out flustered. And if I remember right, we had a pretty easy layup out of that timeout. Maybe
No,
I'm misremembering.
I think you could be right. Not quite sure who it was. Was it AG? Um, I couldn't remember, but you're right. Like it was a solid out of timeout, out of TA or OAT or whatever they call them, OTAs. Out of time, yeah, whatever. But I just, I don't know. It was kind of like we just looked at ourselves and we're like, not again.
Yeah.
We didn't dig out of this O2 hole just to go back to what we were in those first two games. And I mean, it was one of the funnest things I've watched all season. And yeah, I mean, it's the playoffs, but
Yeah, but still, it's still fun.
dude, it was so fun to watch. And I mean, two guys that I want to ask you about, and I'm gonna save a third and he is the man of the hour. I'll save him for last. But
Yeah.
talk to me about Christian Brown and talk to me about Aaron Gordon.
All right, Donnie. So we have uh, someone who shares a half season on our left and someone who shares a half season on our right for tickets. And, CB didn't have a great start to his run. So, one of the members to one of our sides started getting real loud about how CB is garbage and how he needs to be cut and how he should never be on the team never should have been on the team in the first place. And uh, it was getting out of control, man. And then CB did what CB did last night, and everybody around him was just letting him have it, and it was hilarious. Um, because boy, oh boy, did CB turn it around, not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end as well. Just getting the stops when we needed them, and then putting the ball in the basket with authority. And
Hmm.
every time he had a flush, Donnie, you could have saw 30 or 40 pairs of eyes just look at the person a couple seats down from me. And it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
so cool. Um, and what's crazy is he's a Nuggets fan. I think he's just, he's like me. He's a doomsday guy. So
Yeah.
when things don't go well, we freak out. He even, questioned Nikola a couple times, which, you know,
Whoa. Whoa. All
in
right.
Nikola we trust. So
Yeah.
pump the brakes there, buddy. God.
Well, that's funny about CB because I mean, like you said,
It-
there are times, dude, you're like, oh, dude.
what are you
But
doing?
yeah, but like we have to remember this is only his second year,
Mhm.
and to get the minutes he did in those big minutes and make big plays, like he hits that three, he's hit two big threes in back-to-back games that just kind of helped sink this Minnesota team. Now, do I want him shooting MPJ type threes? I don't. I want him shooting the open one in rhythm. That's what we want. And I think he knows that. And I think over time he will develop. I think you hear Jamal talk about him, and Jamal says, I keep pushing him because I see so much in him. And I I just think it's one of those things where the talent is there, the understanding, the competitiveness, the lack of fear. I mean, he's so confident to be in those big moments. I mean, the guy is now basically our close when we have a lead. I think where he's going to be in there over MPJ is what it's looking like.
Yeah.
If that matchup suits us. And like you're saying on the defensive end, he was given or at least shared the duties of guarding Anthony Edwards, one of probably the hardest guys in the league, if not, I'd probably say the second hardest guy to guard in the league, behind Joker. So I was just really impressed. I'm hoping that this stays. I don't expect him to have that type of production every single game for the rest of this year, but I I still think he's a big piece. I don't know why people would want to cut him.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. But also, man, because like you said, he has frustrated at least me
Hmm.
multiple times this year. I know he's your guy,
Yeah.
and man, last night did he show why you were right and I was wrong.
No,
Because man, it
I,
was it was so great to see, man. It was so fun. It looked like he was having a good time. And it was just so fun to watch.
when and I don't think I was right and you were wrong. I think it's more like if you look at the season, the regular season, his regular season was pretty, I would say, underwhelming, right?
Hmm.
Like there were times I think he didn't even play in some big games. So
Yeah,
like I think it's just one of those things where he's young, he's learning, and frankly, who else do you put out there? It's not like we have this giant selection of veterans or guys that we could just throw in that you
yeah,
can trust. I mean, and it's crazy to say in his second year, he does have experience in this playoffs. I mean, you look at that finals game in Miami last year where he put up 15.
yeah.
We ended up winning that game by 15. That was a
That's
huge
true.
moment. So I think I think what we have to do is and I think Joker did this, and I don't want to talk about Joker just yet because I, I have so many good things to say, obviously,
Hmm.
but I think we just we're going to have to put so much weight on the top five, and I think they know that now. They know that Joker sees that he has figured this out. He's like, okay, Um, we're going to get some help from our youngsters and our veteran and Reggie Jackson and Drew Holiday. Or not Drew Holiday, sorry, Justin Holiday.
Just yeah.
Yeah. Who I found out was the oldest of all the brothers recently. I didn't know that.
Justin is?
Yeah, didn't know that.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but anyway, I I think there's just that's who we have, right? Like you go into
Yep.
war with who you have.
Yep.
And right now that's who we got. So they're they can do no wrong in my eyes until we crash out. But I'm hoping that we just keep this train rolling, man. But speaking of trains, let's talk about Aaron Gordon.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Bro, he's got that dog in him.
I think he had a double double, if I'm right,
He did.
halfway through, no, halfway through the third.
Oh,
I think
I,
it was
I
early.
wouldn't doubt it because he was boarding like a madman.
He had the first double double of anyone in the game, I think.
I think you're right.
So that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He was our leading rebounder last night. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
10 boards. Yep.
What do you have, like 15, 10,
18, 10, and
15, 10?
5.
Man, what a
Yeah.
game.
And he
What a game.
only played 34 minutes because of that foul trouble.
Yeah, that early foul trouble was annoying, kind of scary at one point, but
Yeah,
man,
freaked me out.
he comes back and gets 2 charges and doesn't get hurt. I love it. I love it.
Right?
So that's awesome to see, man.
Yeah.
Um, but
Let's talk about him.
AG, yeah, all
Or no,
right.
sorry. No, no. Talk if you got something to say more about AG.
No, I was just gonna. He has been a vital piece in these last two big wins,
Hmm.
and we need that tomorrow,
Agreed. Agreed.
big time.
Rest of this run for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the MVP. And I'm talking to everyone who, if like you said earlier, if you had questions about whether he is the MVP, you got your answer last night. Period.
Yeah.
I
Go
mean, going
eight of
against, yeah, going against quote unquote the defensive player of the year, who's won it. I don't know. Every single year, I feel like I've been alive, even though it's not true.
yeah.
I mean, the guy, he, he put Gobert in a blender.
Oh yeah.
He just said, "Hey, this is cute and all, but it's not happening tonight. You better bring the double."
Well, yeah, right. And Donnie, there, I was sitting up, we sit up pretty high. Love the seats, but sometimes some of the shots he took as they left his hand, I like an idiot wondered, I don't know if that's a good look. And then it was in every time, man. It was in every single time because I think Rudy had some great contests, but the better man won.
Hmm.
And it was so fun to watch. It was so fun to watch.
Hmm.
And simply because just to see the look, because Nas Reed plays with a lot of emotion,
Hmm.
and to see him, kind of throw his hands and throw his head and just be frustrated was just, it was truly, it was art. I loved it.
Hmm.
So I'm excited for us to go back to Minnesota, close this up there, because my bank account can't handle a game 7 here in Denver, and we need to go to these conference finals
Yeah.
against, who knows, man. This is a matchup between the Mavs and OKC.
Yeah. Want to give two quick shout outs, or I guess two more kind of comments, and I want you to kind of weigh in on these. But Jamal Murray didn't have the best offensive game of his life, but to be honest, I thought Jamal last night did something that was really important. He could see he was being shut down. He did not force as many shots as he normally does. He had, I think, a nice little flurry late, like quick, some nice cheeky little like floater layups. That was nice. That kind of put it to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel like in the past when he gets a lot of pressure, sometimes he'll force a shot or two.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, there was a few last night, but it was nothing to what there's been in the past. And I really think that that was maturity from him because it's like when you have guys like Joker and Aaron Gordon who are just eating like crazy all night, do your part, but you know, don't force a tough shot when you know you can give the ball to Joker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give him the ball. Like you and I scream constantly.
Yeah. And
Um,
I also think and what I like is that sometimes Jamal's eagerness is helpful for Nikola because teams know they have to collapse on Jamal because A, he wants to be that guy, and B, he is that guy, especially in late game situations. So Joker does get a little bit more breathing room, I think, in that regard, just because people know that on that role, you have to respect Jamal Murray no matter
mhm,
what.
mhm,
So um but to piggyback on what you were saying with Jamal, I think that his production has been, a very medium average point guard status for the NBA in these playoffs. At least, this series and a little bit in the last, but that's the thing is that we're like, man, that's horrible. And it's getting us wins.
mhm.
So I can't wait to see him explode. Bless you.
Nope, thank you.
I can't wait to see him explode one of these upcoming games because it's bound to
Mhm,
happen.
mhm.
Um, so he's just had too many almost what ifs to not let that happen. And the second thing I wanted to say was I felt like when he would catch the ball off the roll, he did a good job of extending the dribble to not get the ball caught up in a possible situation of jeopardy where anything could happen off a tip. He would make sure to catch the ball off of the handoff from Nikola and push it out in front, um, forcing his defender to chase even more, which I thought was super helpful. I mean, I know his shot didn't go the way he wanted it to, but he saved a lot of turnovers because of that. So
Yep. Yep. Agreed.
it's the little things that don't show up.
Yeah, right. Um, and then just two things like I adjustments that we made, and we did it in the last game, last two games, I guess, before this one. Joker and AG are mainly handling bringing the ball up,
Mm-hmm.
which completely eliminates, McDaniels and Conley when he was in there or Edwards full court pressing, which was an issue, especially in game two, right? Like we weren't even getting into our offense
Yeah,
like until like 10 seconds left in the shot clock, or not even getting it across in 8 seconds.
yeah.
So that's been huge, right? Like just this quick small adjustment, it's really helped our offense. Um, and then,
Gives us 6 more seconds to work with, which is
re
an eternity.
yeah, especially when you have, one of the best players of all time on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And doubling Ant, doubling Ant in this game. I mean, it was a straight double, and we didn't wait for him to dribble first. We went just straight at it. We just blitzed him immediately.
And I like it, but I think you only get away with that with Mike Conley on the bench.
100%.
You don't. I
Mm-mm,
don't think you can do that when
mm-mm.
when Mike's in the game. But maybe you can. I don't know. But
And I mean, we can't help injuries, right? Like we've had
no.
injuries in our time.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on wood that no, sorry, I'd knock on some wood. Um, but you know what I mean? Like you take what you get, and it seemed to work. I think the guy had 19 or something,
Yeah.
which for him is ridiculously low when you look at the rest of the games in this series.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got any more comments on this game before I ask you about the next game?
No, man. It was a good win for us. Um, I loved the hustle on defense. I love the extra effort for your teammate next to you. I felt like we really showed it out tonight. So,
Hmm.
or last night. My apologies.
Hmm.
But man, let's go Nugs.
Yeah. Um, what do you think we need to do to finish this out in Minnesota?
Is Mike Conley out for sure?
I'm hearing I'm hearing it would be a big risk for him, but
Oh man,
it's
risking getting losing.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he probably feels like this might be his last rodeo. The guy's getting up there. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Well, if and I only asked that to answer your question.
I agree. It
We got to
does.
double ant if he's out. We got to continue that. Don't fix it if it's not broken.
Mhm.
So let's continue that. for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and then offensively, I felt what worked was the ball starting out in Nikola's hands and then working it elsewhere. Also, I really do think our pick and roll with whoever worked really well.
Hmm.
That's easy, simple, stupid basketball, but start every possession with a ball screen offensively, and then work your way defensively into a double on Ant, and don't lose Cat on the three because
Yeah.
he will bury us if we lose him on the three.
Hmm. Yep. I agree.
Um, those things.
I agree. Little things, hustle. I mean, you can just tell the urgency has picked up so much.
What about you, Donnie? What
I,
are your big
I,
let's go get him?
a lot of them are that too. Like if Conley's out, I feel like you gotta show that they could beat this straight up blitzing ant
Mm-hmm.
before we change that, right? But you need to have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
backup plan. But I think, like you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
no.
Um, offensively, I don't have a lot of notes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you wish MPJ could just hit a few more shots. But I think now he's known to be one of the best shooters in the league, if not the best. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be hard for him to get some space and get a clean look. I thought he rebounded well, and
Yep.
I mean, it's about taking what they give us, and if they don't want a double joker and just let him eat, I
Sounds great. Sounds great.
like
Love it.
sign me up. I get my
Yep.
bib in, get my
Mm-hmm.
fork and spoon. I'll start
Mm-hmm.
eating with him. Like,
Well, and that's the problem. I think if they did try to double, and then that's when MPJ just buries them
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because our team is good at either finding him on the first pass or on the third one. It doesn't matter.
mm-hmm.
They always and KCP's been shooting it well too.
I was gonna say it was really nice to see KCP hit some big shots.
Yeah.
Um, but all right, any last comments? I'm excited for tomorrow night. I'm gonna be watching from Nebraska, but I will be watching. And yeah.
No, man. Who you taking tonight with the Mavs and Thunder?
Ooh, is that just starting now?
No, they're about halfway through. I would assume they're at halftime.
Oof.
Starting
Yeah.
the third, Mavs up 10.
Oof. I mean, I could see the winner of this game taking the series. Kind of like ours. I felt like game 5 was the pivotal turn, right?
Hope so.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what I'm planning on.
right? Like a lot of I had a few friends text me today and ask me, um, do if we do win the series, do we want OKC or the Mavs? And I just said, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, we want this team, but
Yeah.
I also want home court.
Yeah.
And
I
if
just
you
want to get through the Timberwolves. I don't care.
right, like at this point, I'm not even looking at that. Like
Yeah.
this series has been so emotionally draining. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. No, but you're right though. I mean, why would you not want to take advantage of home court?
yeah,
So
exactly.
I
But
agree.
we got one more game to finish, and
Yep.
I mean these closeout games, like we witnessed with the Lakers, it's the hardest one. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
all right, Leo, we'll appreciate you being here, buddy. I love that you got to see that game last night because and I'm glad I didn't go because I feel like I would have jinxed us again for the how many
No,
ever time. Um,
no.
but I might if we get to the finals, I might just spring for one. Who knows?
You're gonna have to,
Um,
man. You're gonna have to.
yeah. But can you remind the people for us, my buddy?
Everyone, please do not forget to show some us. Go Nuggets.